Hey everybody, welcome back to the video. In this one we're gonna be learning about labels. So before going into the video, I would appreciate guys liking and subscribing the video and feel free to comment. So let's go into the topic. So first, let's see what does label mean. So a label in the module which we use, which is TK Enter module, are used to display text or images. So basically this label is used to display the text or images if you have some, and you can display both of them at the same time too. So first, let's see how to create a label. So to create a label, you use the function called label, which is already with the tkinter module. So if you have that imported, you can make your label. And then you can have to have your parameters, which are basically the text or images, and you have a lot of parameters, which I'm gonna be covering some of them in this video, and some of them are not even useful, but we can learn them. So let's see an example using these. So first, let me delete that real quick and then have my tkinter module. Since I just like to import everything, so I'm just gonna import from tkinter module and the asterisk. So this is basically gonna import the module. And then I'm gonna create a window right here. So let me create a window real quick. And then if you don't know how to create a window, so that's how you can create a window. And if you want to learn more about windows and stuff, you can just go check out my Python GUI window tutorial in which I explain my window things. And after that we can just create a window just like that, and then now we can have our label created. So first, let me store this in a variable so that I can do stuff with it. So I'm gonna be saying why I stored in a variable, and then I'm gonna have something called label of parameters, and then have my parameters. So basically I'm gonna have something, let's say I just have to have text. So that's how you just have your text values and everything and stuff. So let me just put like hello. So that's what I have in this, and then I can just do label.pack. So this is used to pack this label in the middle. So let me just run this real quick. What I mean by middle, to show you guys. So as you guys see, it's kind of small, I'll say. So but still, if you guys can see, that's great. So let me just increase quite a bit right here. So if you guys can see, that's fine. So as you see, you can see that thing right there. So that's what we just created. So the hello is in the middle, if you can see. So I'm gonna increase size later, so let's just don't worry about that. So it just came in the middle. So let's say you want a specific spot. So for that, you can just use something called place. So this place is gonna place the thing at the specific spot, but they should have parameters like x and y. So I'm just gonna have x equals 0 and y equals 0, which means it's gonna be at the first. So let me just delete that real quick, and then let me just put that. So let's just wait for some seconds, and as you see, it just gave at the end. So let me just make it small so that you can see. So there we go, we have our hello at the left, at the very top corner left. So that's what it does. So you can even change this to something like 650, and that to probably 250, and that's probably gonna change it to the middle. And I don't know if that exact or not, but it's probably gonna give it accurate, I guess. So as you see, it's almost at the middle, I'll say. So we can do anything we want with these. So these labels are a lot of fun to deal with. So basically, I recommend you guys just using label.pack for now, because we are just learning about the basics. But in future, we have to most of the time we may use place, because you can just put wherever you want the text. And now to have your text more arguments, you can just separate this by comma, and then you can just click enter, which means it's gonna give you the indentation, and then you can have your arguments. So if I have something like, let's take FG, which is basically the color of the text, you can change it like that. And then after, you just type the color of the text. So let me just put black real quick, and then you can just put comma if you have some arguments, and if you don't, you can just leave it alone. So that's what you can do. Now let's see some example of how do you change these font and everything. So for that, I can just use something called font. So I'm just using the font right here. Since it's so small, I want to change it big. So first, I'm gonna change the font to something like monospace or something. So let me just keep Arial for now, because I don't think they that affect that much. So I'm just gonna keep Arial, and then have a font size of, let me just take 100, and then have a thing, or And then let me have a parameter which is basically gonna say bold or not bold or something, because if it's not bold it's not gonna be visible for me, I'll say. So yeah, that's why I need to have a bold or something. And then you have to have this inside a parentheses. So let me just have a parentheses real quick. So after you're done with your arguments, you can just have a parentheses, or if you don't have it, it's gonna come in here, so we don't want that. So if I were to run this, it's gonna appear a lot bigger right now. So as you see, it's a lot better. So we can see hello easily right now. So that's what this thing does. So basically I'm gonna say what each parameter does. So this is the size, or how the font should look like. And then this is the size of how much size it should be. And this defines if it's bold or not. So if even though if I delete that, it's gonna work for us. So let me just wait. So as you see, it's not bold this time. So instead, if I just keep bold, and then it's gonna work back again. So this is very fun to deal with, I'll say. So that's how you can have these bold and everything. So after that, let's say we want to change the color of the text. So for that, I can do something called FG. So this is basically gonna change the color of the text. Now I can have blue or black or anything is fine. So let me just have blue real quick. And then I'm gonna separate this by comma because I have more arguments, but since I don't have right now, so I'm just gonna delete that real quick. And then let me just delete that, and then let me just run this. So let's just wait for a few seconds so that it appears. So as you see, our text color changed to bold and also blue if you observed. So as you see, it's blue text color. For us before it was black, so this time it's blue. So you can change that too. So you can do a lot of things with this. And also you can also keep something called background. So let me just keep that real quick, and then you can have your background right there. So I'm just gonna keep something like black or something. So let me just do that, and then if I were to run this, it's gonna work for us. So let's just wait for some seconds. And it gave us an error because we forgot a comma right there. So let me just run this real quick, and it should work for us. So as you see, we got our color black right there. So only for that specific part, not the full one. It's still white right here. So I can change this color to anything I want. So for that, you just have to have window.config. So if you don't know what this does, this is basically gonna change the background, and many other arguments are there too. So let me just change the background real quick, and we can change, let me just take it probably green so that we can see. And now let me just run this. So if I were to run this, it's gonna give us green, black, and also blue because the text and everything. So green, black, and blue. So we have our things right there. So that's how you can change the text color, also the label color, also the background color of the window. So I already talked about the window background, so we don't have to worry about that much. And now let's see how you can add borders to it. So borders are a lot of fun to say, so let me just do something real quick. So for that, you have to have something called relief, and this is basically gonna add a border, but you have to have pick something in these. So there's flat, groove, raised, ridge, solid, and sunken. So I'm just gonna pick random one. I just got the groove, and then I can change this to anything I want. So let me just change BD, which is border, and then you can change this to the size you want. So let me just keep it 100, I'll say. And I guess 100 is a lot, so let me just change it to 25, and then we change our border to 25. So if I were to run this, it's gonna give a border of 25 pixels. So there we go, we got a border of 25 pixels. So this kind of like cartoonish, so it's fine, we can just change it to 10 or say. So let me just run this, and then it's gonna be changed to 10. So let me just wait, and then we got a border of 10, and by default this thing is at 1, which means you barely can see it. So I recommend you guys changing it so that you can see the output. And now we know how do you change the borders and stuff. Now let's see something called padding. So padding is nothing but it's just gonna change the size between these. So let me just say what I mean. So let's just get our output right there. So this is the size between these parts. So up on the text, down below the text, right and left. So I'm gonna be saying you guys how you can do that. So for that, I'm gonna have something called pad X, and then I'm gonna have something, a number. So let me just keep 25, and then have pad Y, or if you don't have it, it's still gonna work, but it's not fine because you can observe the difference, but to make it clear, you can just put 25 on each side. So I'm gonna trying it out without pad y too. So let me just run this, and there we go. See, the distance between these are increased. So let's say I don't have this pad y, so let me just remove that until the comma, and then let me just run this again. So there we go, and the upper part is decreased, right? So if I have the pad y back again, and now if I were to run this, as you see, it increased quite a bit. So if you're observing the difference, you probably may understand what is happening right here. So that's how you can do padding and stuff. And now let's see something called images, which is also kind of main topic because label is for images and also text. Now let's see an image. So for that, I have to have something called image equals an image variable. So I don't have any variable right now, so let me just create one right there, and then have our photo image. So if you don't know what the photo image does, it basically just gets the image you wish. So let me just have my file name, and then I already have a image right here, which is python.png. And then let me just show you guys. So this is the image what I'm talking about. It's just basic Python logo, and then I'm gonna have the python.png. So if it's in your desktop, so if it is in your desktop, you can just do the properties and stuff. You can just go to the properties and then copy the part, which is basically the path for it. So you can just copy that, and then it's gonna work for you guys. So after you do it, and let me just keep in the quotes, and then we are done. After you have that, it should work for you guys. So let me just run this real quick, and then let me just run this. So as you see, we got our python png, but where is our text? Our text is completely overridden by this image. So if you want your text to, you can use something called compound, and basically this is gonna say where the picture should be at. So let me just change it to something like top. So basically this is gonna keep the image at the top. So let me just wait for some seconds, and then it's gonna give me, oh, we've just forgot a comma, so let me just put the comma right there. And now if I were to run this, it's gonna give the image at the top. So let's just wait. As you see, it gave our image at the top, and now you can also change it to bottom, right, any side you want. So let me just change it to right real quick, and now if I were to run this, it's gonna give our image at the right and our text at the left. So there we go, our text at the left, image at the right. And that's how you can do anything, and feel free to change the text if you want, because that's pretty lame, that's just hello. So I guess you can just change the text. And that's it for today's video. See you in the next video. Until then, bye bye.